and roll. Okay, I get a thumbs up here. Let's go. Video. We got audio. John, you want to do the honors?
Yes, sir. I'd be honored to.
Okay. We're on, right? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Hialeah Planning and Zoning Board meeting for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Everyone please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve our city. Please give us the wisdom to do what's right for our constituents and all of us that are involved here today. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting guidelines. The following guidelines apply to today's Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Any person interested in making comments or posing questions or on any item of the agenda may do so during the meeting. Individuals should be respectful of the Planning and Zoning Board members and make every effort to speak with a moderate tone, using appropriate language and avoiding personal attacks. The public can view the Planning and Zoning Board meetings on the city's YouTube page. All lobbyists must register with the Planning and Zoning Board prior to the item being heard. A maximum of 4 speakers in favor and 4 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the Planning and Zoning Board on any item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Roll call. Mr. Perez,
Here?
Mr. Mason,
Here.
Mr. Iglesias,
Here.
Mr. Ulloa,
Here.
Mr. Luich,
Here.
Mr. Castellanos,
Here.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Here.
We have a full board. Look at that.
Administration of the oath to all applicants and anyone who will be speaking before the board on any item.
Anyone and everyone that's going to speak in front of the board, please stand, raise your right hand, and we'll swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board? ¿Juras o afirmas decir la verdad ante esta junta?
Okay. Let the record show the answer was on the affirmative. Thank you. You may sit down.
Summary minutes or any copy of the audio files of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the City Council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at its scheduled meeting on Tuesday, April 14. A written decision and resolution will be prepared and presented for review to the City Council. The City Council is authorized to affirm with conditions, or override the decisions by resolution. After the resolution is adopted, contact a member of the City Clerk's office to obtain a copy of the final decision and resolution. Upon your receipt of the final decision or resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit, summary agendas, or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the City Council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for this following public hearing request will be heard by the City Council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. First item, approval of the Planning and Zoning Board summary agenda of March 11th, 2026 as submitted.
Motion to approve?
Motion.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Ms. Enriquez, second by
Iglesias.
Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Luch,
Yes.
Mr. Castellanos,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
The motion has been approved. Land use 1, small scale map amendment for low density residential to transit oriented development district. Properties are located at 1081 East 17th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1 one family district. Applicant Cesar Mestre Esquire on behalf of Casa Amigos LLC.
If I may, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair, in the interest of efficiency, LU1 and item 2 on your agenda deal with the same property. One is a land use amendment, the other one is a rezoning. If the applicant does not have any objection to it, I would propose that we make it one public hearing for both items.
I was going to suggest the same, so we agree.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maitre.
Two different votes, two different items, but we'll clump them together.
Cesar Mestre on behalf of the applicant, 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida.
Thank you.
The property in this application is located on the north side of East 17th Street between East 10th Avenue and East 11th Avenue. The lot is approximately 8,280 square feet or 0.19 acres. The site is currently improved with a 1,120 square foot single-family home originally built in 1949, according to Miami-Dade County property appraisal records. The property is designated as low-density residential on the city's future land use map and is situated within the boundaries of the Hialeah Transit-Oriented Development District, more specifically within the Transfer Station Subdistrict. Adjacent land use designation are as follows: to the north, low-density residential; to the east, Transit-Oriented Development District and Industrial; to the south, Industrial and Transportation and Utilities; and to the west, low-density residential and medium-density residential. The applicant is before the city requesting an amendment to the existing land use designation from low-density residential to Transit-Oriented Development District. A companion application has been submitted to rezone the property from R1, One Family District, to TOD, Transit-Oriented Development District, to ensure consistency between the land use and the zoning designations for a proposed redevelopment consisted of a 4-story multifamily residential building. The project is proposed as a mid-rise development, which, pursuant to the Transit-Oriented Development Master Plan, allows a maximum density of 125 units per gross acre. Based on the size of the site, the maximum of approximately 23 residential units is permitted. However, the applicant is proposing only 12 residential units, which is below the allowable density. The applicant owns and previously developed the property located directly east of the subject property and is now proposing to develop the subject property in a similar manner. The subject property is located within the transfer station subdistricts of the Transit-Oriented Development District, an area designated for higher density, mixed-use, and pedestrian-oriented development due to its proximity to major transportation facilities, including the Tri-Rail and Metro Rail stations. Although the surrounding properties are primarily developed with low-density residential uses, higher density residential development is encouraged within this district. Therefore, the proposed redevelopment is considered compatible with the planned future character of the area and supports the city vision to promote walkable neighborhoods, encourage public transit use, and reinvest in older residential areas. The proposal has been submitted to Miami-Dade County Public School Concurrency Management System to ensure the adequate public school capacity is available to serve the students generated by the proposed residential development, and is currently under review to determine whether the project meets the required level of service. The site is served by the pump station PS 04-009, which is in okay status. Final capacity of utility impacts will be further evaluated during the site plan and concurrency review process. Based on the information provided, the proposed amendment is consistent with the City of Hialeah Comprehensive Plan and supports the goal of promoting transit-oriented development and the efficient use of land near major transit facilities. The request aligns with the intent of the Transit-Oriented Development Master Plan and will allow for redevelopment and contributes to increased housing opportunities within the TOD district. Therefore, staff finds the request to be reasonable and recommends approval of the proposed land use plan amendment. Staff recommendation approval.
Thank you, Claudia. Cesar, obviously, you're gonna make a presentation. You wanna just hold that off and make one presentation for both?
That's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
so we read this into the record. Let her read the other application and you make your presentation, and then we'll take two separate votes on the
Sounds
two
good.
items.
Okay. Rezoning property from R1, One Family District, to TOD, Transit-Oriented Development District. Variance permit to allow a single-use 4-story multifamily residential building containing 12 dwelling units where a vertical mix of uses is required, to allow a front setback of 6.75 feet where 20 feet is required, to allow 6% pervious area where a minimum of 10% is required, and to allow a partial waiver of the minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation pursuant to Section 98-2235 of the City Code. Property is located at 1081 East 17th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district. Applicant Cesar Mestre Esquire on behalf of Casa Amigos LLC.
Go ahead.
The property in this application is located on the north side of East 17th Street between East 10th Avenue and East 11th Avenue. The lot is approximately 8,280 square feet or 0.19 acres. The site is currently improved with a 1,120 square foot single-family home originally built in 1949, according to Miami-Dade County property appraisal records. The property is designated as low-density residential on the city future land use map and is situated with the boundaries of the Hialeah Transit-Oriented Development District, more specifically within the Transfer Station Subdistrict. The zoning classification is R1, one family district, which is consistent therewith. The surrounding land use designations and zoning classification are as follows. To the north, low-density residential, zone R1 and R2, 1 and 2 family residential district. To the east, transit-oriented development district and industrial, zone TOD and M1 industrial district. To the south, industrial and transportation and utilities, zone M1. And to the west, low-density residential and medium-density residential, zone R1 and R2. The applicant is before the city requesting to rezone the property from R1, one family district, to TOD, transit-oriented development district. A companion land use amendment application has been submitted to change the land use designation from low-density residential to transit-oriented development district, ensuring consistency between the land use and the zoning. The proposed amendment and rezoning are intended to support a proposed 4-story multifamily development. The proposed project consists of a single-use multifamily residential building within the transit-oriented development, TOD district, where a vertical mix of uses is typically encouraged. While the development does not include a mix of uses, the proposed residential design is not expected to negatively impact surrounding properties, as it will not generate additional retail or commercial traffic and remains compatible with the existing residential character of the area. According to the submitted plans, the project includes a 4-story multifamily residential building. The ground floor is primarily designed for parking and provides a total of 18 parking spaces, including 1 ADA compliance space, which meets the minimum parking requirement established by the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance. The ground floor also includes a residential lobby with pedestrian access from East 17th Street and from the interior parking area, as well as a meter room, machine room, dumpster enclosure, and 2 stairwells providing vertical circulation. The 2nd through 4 floors each contain 4 residential units consisted of 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms layouts for a total of 12 residential dwelling units within the building. The proposed building complies with all the required setback dimensions, with the exception of the lobby and one of the stairways fronting East 17th Street, which encroaches into the front setback. Staff does not find the encroachment to have a negative impact, as the lobby serves as the primary entrance feature and contributes to the pedestrian-oriented design of the building without obstructing visibility, light, or access along the public right-of-way. The encroachment is minimal in scale and helps create a more engaging streetscape by providing direct access and a defined entry point from East 17th Street, which supports the walkability goals of the transit-oriented development district. To address the reduction in pervious area, the project will incorporate an on-site drainage system designed to properly manage stormwater runoff. Additionally, the applicant will be required to mitigate landscaping not provided in accordance with Section 98-2235 of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance during the site plan and concurrency review process. Staff noted that the submitted site plan proposed an 8-foot concrete wall along the east and west side of the property. The plans have been revised by the applicant to show a 6-foot concrete wall, as that is the maximum permitted by the City of Hialeah Landscaping Manual for this type of residential projects. The plan also depicted a 6-foot metal picket fence along the north rear property line, which it was revised to provide a 6-foot high concrete wall as required for more intense densities. Based on the applicant request, staff recommends approval with the following conditions: that the applicant enters into and record a declaration of restriction, DOR, to develop the site in accordance with the plan signed and sealed by Oscar J. Gonzalez, AR, dated January 4, 2026, which will be later modified to include conditions number 3. The DOR shall require the time limitation for the development. 2, the applicant shall submit a one-time landscaping mitigation payment, the amount of which shall be calculated during the site plan and concurrency review process in according to section 982235 of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance, and that the plans should be revised to show the proper concrete walls along the east, west, and north property lines, as that is the maximum height permitted by the Hialeah Landscaping Manual. Staff recommends approval with those conditions.
Thank you, Claudia. Cesar?
Thank you. As I said before, Cesar Mestre on behalf of the applicant. It's important to note that this applicant has completed, I believe, 7 of these TOD projects already. They were actually the first one to actually complete one in this area. And his buildings are all very similar, but they're all within a few blocks of each other. I see some new faces. Welcome to the board. Be a pleasure to work with you guys. By way of background, I just want to give you a little bit of what's going on here. This particular area of the city, you're going to hear TOD, Transit Oriented District, is something that the council years ago said we're going to designate this area to redevelop it, to have more density, to provide, it's supposed to be mixed uses, residential with commercial on the bottom, wider sidewalks, kind of to make it a more walkable area of the city. You've seen that there's been a lot of big buildings that are coming up around there. So this is within that district, and that's why we're here before asking you for this. Let me show you a couple of slides. The next one. This is just showing you what the present zoning and land use are. As you can see, our property, if you look on the right side, the bottom, that little green circle, that's where this property is located. To the east, it's industrial. To the west, it's residential. To the south, it's the warehouses there, so it's industrial as well. As you see, the one on the corner right next to us to the right, that one's a different color because that one is already a TOD property that has been changed. Next slide. This is just showing you the property. It's located on East 17th Street between 11th Avenue and 10th Avenue. The one that you see here to the right of our property, which is the rectangle, is 11th Avenue. The one on the corner is the one that we've already done. This applicant has already finished this one a while ago. That's been rented for a long time. And they've also done another one north on 11th Avenue at the other corner on the top, which I believe is 22nd Street. Next slide. This is actually part of the code. This is the limitations, the lines for the TOD sub-district that we're talking about. So if you see on the bottom, this is the south boundary. We're located within it. That little rectangle right there, that's this property located within the transit-oriented district. Next slide. This is the building that's already finished. This is the one directly to the east of us. So this is already there. This is already built. This is already rented out. This is on the corner. And then the one that we are proposing now is this one, which is very similar. So they're going to be two bookends on that property. The building is going to be 4 stories. It's going to have 12 units, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 840 square feet each. There's 2 types, but they're very close in their size. We're asking you to recommend approval of the land use change to TOD, so then we can do the rezoning. The rezoning is also to TOD. We do have to have variance because we're supposed to have mixed use. But as Claudia said, on this project, we're not. And actually for this area of the TOD, it seems to be a good fit because it goes in hand with the residential that's around there. It's not really as busy as 25th Street or 10th Avenue over there. So that is consistent with the area. Regarding the land use, we have a pump station that's in okay status. That'll be looked at again. We've already submitted for concurrency with the public schools. I don't expect an issue with that. That is being reviewed. And this will increase the housing opportunities for the area. As far as the variances, the no commercial is one. The impervious area, which we're going to provide drainage so that that's not an issue. The landscaping, the code provides that if we don't have enough space to do the landscaping, we can pay in and get that resolved, so that we're doing that pursuant to the code. And also there's a setback variance, which is very minimal, has to do with the lobby and the stairs protruding a little bit into the sidewalk area. But as Claudia said, it's very minimal and it will not affect the project. So based on all of these, if you have any questions, we would respectfully ask you for a recommendation of approval to the council, and we are okay with all of the conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Mestert. I do notice that. That's also I can be accurate about this. The planner's notes here says based on the size of the lot, maximum of approximately 23 residential units are permitted.
Correct.
However, you're proposing 12. So
Yep.
you're actually proposing building half of what you're allowed.
Way under. This is not one of these greedy developers. He doesn't want to max out. And also I can tell you that he, in all his other buildings, and has done it and has shown me, gives preference to Hialeah contractors. They're the ones that work on his projects. He also makes them very nice. He does granite tops, stainless steel appliances, high ceilings, modern looking, very nice. I know on one of his buildings, he went out with the council, and I think Deborah was here at the time, and they visited them, and they all were very impressed with the work that he does.
Well, and the reason I mentioned that, and I do commend you on that, is because we're at a point right now where we still need residential units. We need housing units, okay? Be it apartments, duplexes, single family homes, what have you. We have a shortage of stock, but not as bad as it was recently. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of like gonna back up a little bit and not be try not to be as generous as I have been in the past. And this right here hits home. You're allowed 23 and you're only proposing 12. So that's a feather on your cap right here. I just wanted to mention that because I know that we have had some I don't want to say headbutting, but we have some issues with the density.
Yes.
And I see that you're reading the tea leaves, in other words. So you see where
We try.
and I appreciate that. Are these going to be rentals or?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Comments or questions, please?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
I obviously you know how I feel about it. I feel that we have all these little apartments and why don't we make it like a big development, like an area where there's more, like the ones that they did on 25th Street, I'm okay with those. They're really huge or whatever. Something more, but these little pieces, these quadruplexes, these small little units. I've seen neighborhoods after a while, they just turn into, bad neighborhoods with all these little units. I'm not in favor of destroying, small homes and putting these small apartments in a place. I don't see the need for it anymore. I think that there's a gluttony of them already for us.
May I address
Yes.
the issue? So as a matter of the regulatory framework that we currently have for that area, the city adopted and it has been implementing the TOD, that is called. That was done in 2016, okay? I understand your concern, but for developers, and I'm not speaking on behalf of developers, but for them to assemble the land as it had happened in the 25th corridor, it's, I will say, one of the most difficult tasks that a developer can, take on. The projects that you are seeing within the areas, going down from 25th Street are of a lower intensity, lower height, and that is the intent of what is called in, the planning world as the wedding cake. Because the main corridor is 25th Street. That is where you want your density, your commercial activity. That is where the train station is closer by. And this area, you want to maintain a certain lower, more restricted kind of uses, because you want to maintain that. However, because of the proximity to the transfer station, you still want to have that density so you can provide for the ridership that is required to maintain those services in place. I understand your concern, but I just wanted to say, this is a decision that it was made a decade ago by the city for this specific area. This is not something that we're going to be dealing everywhere in the city. This is specific for the TOD area for the transfer, specific for the master, for the TOD in the market station area as well. So those are the two areas that we need to keep in mind, that that is the framework, the regulatory framework that it was put in place by the city a decade ago.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Another thing, if I might add, which I'm sure it's common sense, everybody knows they will love to do like those projects on 25th and 26th Street. They'll love to come in and just wipe the whole block clean. I mean, you're talking big dollars, buying out all those homes, and that would be perfect. Like
When those homes started, when the TOD started to move, this developer bought a property. I think it was under 400,000. Couple of months later, the properties next to it were going for 1.4, 1.5.
I understand that.
And so it just makes it that much harder to assemble
Right.
for it to make sense, because you've paid so much for the land that it makes it impossible. I don't know, and those projects seem very nice, but I would bet you that the rent there is going to be substantially higher than those smaller ones that are coming up.
I'm not saying that I'm not against us building new apartments or anything. I just don't like the way we're going about it. With piecing it out piece by piece, like a little apartment here, a little apartment there. I don't like it. I'd like to see real development, real projects being built. For me, I just think that this is just something like for quick money grabs. That's my opinion. I know maybe it isn't, whatever. I just see things like that, and I don't see this being favorable for the community in large. I may be wrong, but like we say, we all have opinions, and it is what it is. I would love to see something like the way they developed, around City Hall in Miramar, that those apartments and beautiful development like that. I want to see something like that, and we keep doing these little ones, and it's like hasta cuando. I want to see some real development, something beautiful, something that we could be proud of. They're doing it in Doral, downtown Doral, those beautiful apartments and everything. Yeah, okay, we're going to develop. Let's develop, but let's develop the right way. These little pieces. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
I understand, but
I'd
unfortunately,
love to see something more.
I understand what you're saying.
And I understand the rent will be bigger, but we'll bring in a better quality of people, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm involved with a project now in the city of Sweetwater. It's 104 acres. There's going to be 6,000 units. But you have land that is owned by one person.
Yep.
That they've had forever and ever. Unfortunately, those opportunities don't come around. I think that's the biggest parcel in Dade County right now that's owned by one person. Here, and the way the code is, the structure is, it doesn't have any type of requirement that you have to have X amount of land. If not, then we would be having a different conversation. But this one complies with the code.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? All right, no more comments from the board. Anyone in the audience have a comment or question on this item? Remember, this is we're going to vote on the land use first, but we're also covering the actual zoning. So I saw you raise your hand back there. Oh, okay. All right, well, closest to part of the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve
For the land
With-
use.
with,
For the land use.
yes.
The
This one doesn't have any conditions.
land use doesn't have any,
No.
yeah,
Second.
just straight up approval.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the land use by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mrs. Enriquez. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
No.
Mr. Castellanos.
Yes.
Mr. Lucci,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Motion was approved.
Okay, land use has been approved. at this point, we're going to close the land use part of the hearing. We've already heard, since they're both our sister companion applications, we already heard the merits of the planning part of the application. And I will open this one up for comments or questions from the board, since it's the same address, same deal, but you know, it's a different application. Comments or questions? Anyone in the audience have a comment or question? Okay, closest to part of the public hearing. What's the pleasure on the board from planning and zoning item number 2?
Okay.
It is recommended approval with condition. There are conditions on it, so
Yes.
okay, need a
Do you
motion.
agree with those conditions, sir?
Yes. Motion to approve with condition.
Second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve with conditions by Mr. Mason, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Ulloa,
No.
Mr. Castellanos,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Luge,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Motion has been approved with conditions.
Thank you. Good night.
Caesar, next time tell your boss to buy up a whole bunch of land. That would, you know. Oh. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Item number 3, variance permit to allow a rear setback of 3.24 feet where 45 feet is required for the legalization of a 2-story addition containing approximately 2,327 square feet located on the east side of an existing medical office building to allow 5 parking spaces where 21 parking spaces are required, to allow 2 of the parking spaces to be located at the front setback, where parking in the front setback is not allowed, to allow the proposed dumpster enclosure to be located 5 feet from the right-of-way along West 48th Street, where 10 feet is required, and to allow the proposed dumpster enclosure to have an interior east side setback of 1 foot, where a minimum of 2 feet is required. Property is located at 391 West 48th Street, Hialeah, zoned RO Residential Office District. Applicant Manny Reos, architect, on behalf of Pablo M. Wala and Clara Bassini Jauregui.
You are close.
Name and address, please.
Good evening, Manny Rose Architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida. Welcome to the board, sir, Mr. Castellanos.
Thank you, Manny.
This property is located on the northwest corner of the intersection of West 4th Avenue and West 48th Street and faces the West 4th Avenue access road. The property has an area of approximately 8,320 square feet or 0.19 acres, according to Miami-Dade County property appraisal records. The current land use designation is residential office and the zoning classification is RO, residential office, which are consistent with each other. The neighboring land use and zoning classifications are as follows: residential office and RO to the north and south, low density residential and R1 to the east, and commercial and C2 to the west. The property was developed in 1953 as a single-family home. A rezoning was later approved to convert the property into a residential office, according to the City Ordinance Number 81-162, approved on December 22nd, 1981. The most recent approved site plan for the property was issued under building permit number B87-114. The site plan reflects a building of approximately 2,300 square feet with 11 parking spaces and landscaping. The property received a code violation under complaint number 2022-02348 for work being performed without building permits issued on September 6, 2022, as well as a building violation for a 40-year recertification requirements under case numbers CERT-000-209-2023, issued on April 19, 2023. These cases have not been corrected, and the city imposed a lien on August 19, 2024, which was recorded under CF number 2025-0444129 with the Miami-Dade County Clerks of Courts. The property owner has submitted a building permit application to correct these violations under permit number BLDC-014896-2024. However, zoning staff provided comments indicated that the alterations performed on the property require variance approvals in order to legalize the work completed without the benefit of a building permit. These zoning comments were issued on August 23, 2024. This variance application seeks to resolve the zoning issues related to the work performed without the benefit of a building permit and its resulting conditions. The applicant is requesting legalization of an unpermitted attached two-story addition of approximately 2,358 square feet, according to the site plan submitted with this application. This addition was constructed on the east side of the property without meeting the required rear setback of 45 feet and instead provided only 3.24 feet of rear setback. Although it is unclear when this addition was completed, aerial imagery indicates that the construction occurred prior to 2005. Therefore, the addition does not appear to have negatively impacted neighboring properties for approximately the past 20 years. However, the parking requirement has increased to 21 parking spaces, while the property currently provides only 5 parking spaces, 2 of which are located in the front setback where parking is not permitted. The parking demand of the property has been reflected over time in the use of the site, as the green swell areas to the south have been fully paved and utilized for parking. There is also a green swell area to the west that has been used for parking. The applicant has indicated that they intend to obtain a street permit to develop these swell areas in order to properly improve them as parking areas. If the street department issues a permit and the work is completed accordingly, an additional 5 on-street parking spaces will be provided, partially mitigating the parking deficiency. Even with the addition of on-street parking, the project is requesting a parking variance of 5 parking spaces where 21 spaces are required. The property has been operating with this reduced number of parking spaces for at least 20 years. Therefore, no additional on-site parking is provided at this time. The parking reduction is significant, as more than 75% of the required parking spaces are not provided on site. The only condition that could partially mitigate the parking shortage is the ability of open parking along the West 4th Avenue Service Road, where the applicant is proposing to add at least 4 additional parking spaces. Additional variances are requested to accommodate a dumpster enclosure located 5 feet from the right-of-way, where 10 feet are required, and with a reduced interior setback of 1 foot where 2 feet are required. This request is considered minor and is intended to accommodate existing code requirements. The parking and rear setback variances constitute major requests. However, these conditions have been existing for a considerable period of time, demonstrated that the impacts of the reduced setback and parking deficiency has been managed in practice. Nevertheless, the applicant shall be subject to the following restrictions to mitigate and amortize the work completed without the benefit of a building permit. 1, submit a declaration of restrictions, DOR, requiring that the property be improved in substantial accordance with the plan submitted and prepared by Manny Reos, PA, signed and sealed on January 22nd, 2016. The DOR shall restrict the use of the property to a medical office only. Number 2, submit a site plan and concurrency plans to the Planning and Zoning Department within 6 months following the approval of this application, if approved, and obtain approvals from the Street Department to improve the swell areas with parking, curb and gutter, and landscaping in substantial accordance with the plan submitted as part of this variance application. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Thank you. Manny?
Good evening. I am the new architect on the project. There's a discrepancy, Claudia, with the information as far as the number of parking spaces that are on the parkway. I'm very familiar with the project. There's presently 15 parking spaces, and we're going to increase to 21 parking spaces in total outside the property. Number 1. Number 2, that green area in front belongs to the city. That will be part of the expansion. One of the presentations that I'll be making right now, I've met 3 times with Jose, the Streets Department Director, and he's authorized us as architects and our civil engineers to make the proper corrections on the off-site parking to accommodate whatever it is that we need, and we've got his blessing. So that will be forthcoming to you eventually on the plans that we submit, so you would know in general.
To the chair, do you want me to address the comments right now?
Sure.
Okay, so for the on-street parking, that is a service road. Those are not parking spaces dedicated to this property or to any property. Those are open parking spaces. So the increase that you're doing for the 4 parking spaces, that's the only increase that you are proposing for this property. We know that there is more parking spaces on the swell area, but they are
Okay.
not specifically serving this particular property.
Right.
So there is a clear distinction between what are the parking spaces that you are providing that are required on site and
Yes,
the parking spaces
yeah,
that they are.
I understand perfectly, but there's 5 on-site parking spaces. And outside there were 15, and right now there's 21 in total off-site parking spaces. One parallel to 48th Street, which is permissible because we've already checked it with Jose and our civil engineer. And then we're reducing the landscape area with the consent of the parking division, the streets division, to accommodate the other parking spaces. So in total, from 49th Street all the way to 48th Street and turning around on 48th Street, there will be a total of 21 parking spaces and 5 inside. In total, we'll have 26 parking spaces. But not all the parking spaces, of course, on the parkway are going to be used by us. They're commonly used by the other ROs, which have their own independent parking, et cetera. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Okay, basically, we are the architects that are going to be involved from zero to completion, specifically on the certification portion of the project. There was some work done prior to ownership of the property. Ownership, who happens to be my cardiologist, he is aware that whatever is on the property, he is responsible for. That's why we're on board. We have a lot of experience in certification work that we've commenced and finished. I've already met with the building department, with the director and the code enforcement, et cetera. They've been communicated via email, so they are super happy that we're involved to take care of whatever problem there is. Whatever is illegal on the property without a permit will be removed. The canvas, the big sign that he's got on fronting 4th Avenue, et cetera, all that is without a permit. Once it goes through our office, 100% of everything will be done by the book and submitted to zoning and building department. We have letters from the owner's rep, the lady that runs the office, stating the hours of operation. The doctor visits the office 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. 60 to 70% of the people that visit the office are brought in by public transportation. And you know, I've been there a million times since the last 2 or 3 months because I'm very involved with the project. So I feel very confident that this will be a very successful project. In addition to that, this past Saturday, I spent 3.5 hours walking the whole neighborhood. I knocked on every door, and every one of the neighbors within the 500 radius is 100% in agreement with what they don't have an issue with, especially the fellow behind us on the east side. So having said that, this is basically mostly some parking issues that we will correct, and quite a few certification issues that we have a lot of experience on and that will be 100% corrected. So if anybody has any comments or questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them.
I just want to, just real quickly for my own information.
Yes, sir.
I noticed that on this parking here, you have 3 different color sections here.
Yes, the red is a new.
I'm sorry?
The color red are new parking spaces.
Right. So if I'm to understand you correctly, the red meaning the proposed, the
Yes,
new parking area,
Off-site, yes.
the yellow being the internal
Yes,
parking area, and then the blue, the existing off-site that is shared by all the, is
Yes.
that,
Yes,
you're,
sir.
you're basically combining all
Yes, sir.
3 areas
yes, sir.
to give you the total.
Not only that, but that area fronting 48th Street, they will not be allowed, of course, to park perpendicular to the street anymore, backing out into the street. So we'll have 1 parking spaces, and the rest has been designed in conjunction with the streets department for the proper landscaping, buffers, trees, et cetera. So, and curve work, so people do not park on that area.
That's what I was leading to, because the way it is right now and on the red, on the red square there, the red rectangle, the
Mhm.
new ones, everyone is parked in a way where they're gonna back out into 48th Street. I know 48th Street is not a very heavily traveled area, but
No, they're not gonna
that
back,
corner is.
they're not gonna back out. They're gonna back up 22 feet, hang up, make a right and go on 48th Street. They're not gonna back out anymore into 48th Street.
Well, I'm just basing my comments on what you have here,
Yeah.
circle in red.
Yes,
That they are presently.
yes.
Through the
Cool.
chair.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
And that's a good point. So for the record, as a clarification, along 48th Street, the plans are proposing to create curb and gutter.
Yes.
So basically creating on the right of way, the sidewalk per se,
Yes.
and it's going to be improved with landscaping.
Yes.
So that condition of the backing out, parking and backing out perpendicular to the street, it's not going to happen because it's going to be a physical impediment over there.
Right.
And over there along 48, it's only one parking space parallel to the street being proposed.
Okay, because you know how we all feel about back out.
Yes.
And like I said, I repeat myself, 48th Street is not a heavily trafficked area, but that corner there with the service road, and come on, you know my people here in Hialeah,
Say, hey,
they
hey.
get a little crazy. So
So with Haley.
again, I just wanted to bring that up and thank you for your clarification. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, according to Manny, it's like he's got everything straight, but there's some discrepancies in what's in the report, or?
No, sir. So just a point of clarification. The site has only 5 parking spaces.
Okay,
That is why the variance is a high variance, where 23 parking spaces are required and 5 parking spaces are provided on site. The code requires that all your parking has to be provided within your private property. Okay, so in order to mitigate, am I clear with
I
that?
think you said 23, but I think you originally said 21.
Sorry, 21. So 5 parking spaces where 21 parking spaces, they need to be on the property. Okay, so that's point 1.
that's a
Okay.
big discrepancy.
That is, no, that is the,
When
that
you
is
said
the
21,
right, exactly. That is the request. So basically the request is
for us to allow him to have 5,
5 parking spaces on his private property.
okay,
The project,
but he's supposed to have 21, you're saying?
exactly. That is the parking requirement, that the parking request that they are proposing.
Okay,
It's a reduction of approximately 75% of the parking on
that's
site.
a pretty big reduction.
That's big.
Mr. Uriel,
They're mitigating, they are mitigating that shortage by improving parking on the street. So they are proposing 1 parking space along 48th Street and the improvement of the curb and gutter, and then 6 parking spaces, additional parking spaces on the service road where the green area is. So in addition to what is existing, 6 parking spaces more.
Okay,
But
That-
that is
yeah.
not their parking space.
That was gonna be my next question or my next suggestion, where the green area is right here to the south, if that could be improved
That,
to
exactly.
add, okay.
That is what,
Exactly what he's doing.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
perfect.
Also, Mr.
And they've been working like this for X amount.
20 something years.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Uriel, also, 60 to 70% of the people that go there are elderly people and they're brought in. I've been there. I should have taken pictures. to
Yeah, la
preview.
guaguita.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Claudia. That was a
thank you, Claudia.
good explanation.
Makes
And
more sense. Thank you.
and I wanted to point out about that green, that extra green area, that if you're going to improve that, hey, that's,
I wanted to create more parking spaces in the corner, but Jose said, no, I need to respect 25 feet because it's too close. The service road on 48th Street and 4th Avenue, making and I said, Jose, you know, I'm happy with you agreeing with me, taking some spaces. And he was very thrilled and happy that at owner's expense, all that's going to get improved.
okay. Anyone else? Anyone in the audience? Okay, goes to the public hearing.
Motion to
Motion.
approve with condition?
Second that motion.
Motion to approve with condition by Mrs. Enriquez and second by Mr. Ulloa. Mr. Luich,
Yes.
Mr. Castellanos,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Motion to approve with conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And I promise everybody, because that's the way I am, I'm going to be involved from zero to completion, especially on the certification process, which is very important. So the building department is happy all the way through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Have a
Manny.
good night.
Thank you.
Item number 4, special use permit, SUP, to allow a Lowe's Home Improvement Store to establish an outdoor storage area for bulk materials and equipment on the east side of the existing building within an area currently utilized for parking. Variance permit to allow the proposed outdoor storage area to be enclosed by a 12-foot high tubular steel fence where an 8-foot high masonry wall is required, and to allow 1,552 parking spaces where 1,611 parking spaces are required. Property is located at 1650 West 37th Street, Hialeah, zoned M1 Industrial District. Applicant CPH Consulting LLC on behalf of Lowe's Home Center LLC.
I need a representative to identify yourself, please.
Sure.
I don't think you were sworn in.
No, I was just about to say that. I'll
Okay.
go ahead and say my name is
Raise
Jason.
raise your right hand.
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board?
Yes.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
Jason James, CPH, 1992 Southwest First Street, Miami, Florida, 33135. I'm the engineer of record on this project.
Okay, thank you. She'll read it into the record and we'll open the floor.
Sure.
The subject property is located at 1650 West 37th Street in the city of Hialeah and has an industrial land use designation and is currently zone M1 light manufacturing district consistent therewith. The site is developed with a Lowe's home improvement retail warehouse facility, which serves both residential and commercial customers and include associated parking areas, loading docks, and landscaping buffers. The property forms part of the Miracle Mile Shopping Center, which is also included at Target store and other commercial uses. The applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow the establishment of an outdoor storage area for bulk materials and equipment on the east side of the existing Lowe's building within an area that is currently utilized for parking. The proposed outdoor storage area will be enclosed and utilized by the store to maintain raw material, equipment, and bulk merchandise associated with the retail operation. The applicant is also requesting a variance to allow the outdoor storage to be enclosed with a 12-foot high tubular steel fence where the city code requires an 8-foot masonry wall for outdoor storage enclosures. The applicant indicates that the tubular steel enclosure provides adequate security while allowing visibility for safety and operational monitor within the storage area. The proposed outdoor storage area will include a secure access gate intended for staff and delivery vehicles only. This improvement will allow the business to properly organize and store bulk material that is currently kept outdoors and visible to passing motorists along West 16th Avenue. To mitigate visual impacts, the project is to incorporate landscaping screening along the West 16th Avenue frontage. Shrubs planting will be installed to provide buffering between the storage enclosure and the public right-of-way, softening the visual impact of the structure while maintaining the overall appearance of the corridor. The project will result in a reduction in the number of parking spaces available on site. The proposed improvement will reduce the parking supplied to 1,552 spaces, where 1,611 parking spaces are required under the city parking regulations. The total parking count of 1,611 parking spaces included the right-of-way dedication during the redevelopment of the shopping center, according to plans approved for redevelopment dated March 5, 2002. The right-of-way dedication reflected approximately 225 parking spaces. To support the requested parking variance, the applicant submitted a parking generation analysis prepared by CPH LLC, which evaluated parking demand for the Lowe's and Target stores located within the Miracle Mile Shopping Center. The analysis determined that the combined retail uses currently provide 1,401 parking spaces, and the proposed site modifications will result in 1,341 parking spaces remaining available, meaning the removal of 60 parking spaces toward the southeast area of the property. According to the ITE Parking Generation Handbook, shopping centers greater than 150,000 square feet typically generate a peak parking demand of approximately 2.43 spaces per 1,000 square feet, with an 85 percentile demand of approximately 3.08 spaces per 1,000 square feet. Field observations conducted over multiple days indicated that the maximum observed parking occupancy ranged between 38% and 42% of the available parking, with peak demand occurring on Saturday afternoon. Based on these findings, the study concluded that the existing parking supply significantly exceed actual parking demand for the shopping center. Even with the proposed reduction in parking spaces, the remaining parking supply will continue to adequately accommodate customer demand without negatively impact parking availability. Overall, the proposed outdoor storage enclosed represent a functional operation improvement to the existing Lowe's facility by relocating material that currently is stored outdoor into a designated and secure area. The proposal will improve site organization and reduce visual clutter along adjacent roadways. The requested special use permit and an associated variance are consistent with the operational needs of the existing retail facility and are not expected to create adverse impacts to surrounding properties. Additionally, the parking study demonstrated that the reduction in parking spaces will not negatively affect parking availability for customers or employees of the shopping center. Based on these findings, staff recommends approval of the special use permit and an associated variance with the subject conditions, with the following conditions. The applicant proffers a declaration of restriction stipulating the restriction of use of the outdoor storage area, which shall be limited to materials and equipment associated with the operation of the Lowe's Home Improvement Store and shall not be used for unrelated outdoor storage. Included that the project shall be developed in accordance with the plan submitted with this application prepared by CPH engineers submitted in January 26, 2026. And the outdoor storage shall have the proper lighting and landscaping buffers along West 16th Avenue, and all the required permits and approval from applicable city departments and outside agencies shall be obtained prior to the issuance of any building permits. Recommendation approval with conditions.
Thank you. I have one question here.
Sure.
I'm trying to look it up here. I'm very familiar with the store. I mean, who isn't? You know what used to be there before?
Yes, I do. I visited there mmany times back in my day, Hialeah Speedway.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they had
Yes,
great popcorn and hot dogs. That's
Yes,
what I
sir.
remember.
Yes.
A lot of I think the best part was when they would do that the demolition derby at the end.
Yes, sir.
I feel like that was the best.
Run what you brung and figure eight and that whole thing.
There you go.
Okay, anyway, I'm trying to visualize where you're planning to do this do this enclosure. Is it going to be like right along 16th Avenue?
Yes. So yes. Yeah, it's going to be along that side of the sod. Right.
So from where the actual building is,
Yes.
on 16th Avenue
Mhm.
to the south,
Yes.
to the back of the building?
Correct.
Or is it going to be like right on the 16th Avenue side or?
Yeah. So right now, actually, the store actually has the same type of storage, outdoor storage,
Yes.
with the same type of tubular steel
Right.
fencing. The only thing is it's kind of limited. It kind of extends. I would say it's on the south side. I'd say on the southeast corner of the building, but it doesn't go beyond the wall, right? The eastern facade, which is what you would see if you're looking from West 16. Westward to the property. Now what it's going to do, we're going to continue that steel fencing all the way around the curbing of where you see that set of parking. I don't know if you're looking at a Google aerial or something like that, or street view. It's going to take that side of the building and not extend past the front of the store. So right now that's kind of like I would say a dead zone. If you were to go out there, customers don't park there. It's not really ideal.
No, I'm just.
Things like that. But that's kind of the extent. We want to extend it.
I know the
there.
store. I'm sorry. I
It's
know
okay.
the store very well.
More or less what Home Depot has that. More or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same,
Yeah.
There you go. Another competitor figured it out. I'm sure they,
same thing.
yeah, works for them. Why not for
You're
Lowe's?
gonna be able to use all that space that is
Yes,
dead
sir.
there. There's nothing
sir.
going on there.
That's absolutely correct. And I think what Claudia pointed out is that, her staff was great working with her staff. We were able to work with the city's traffic consultant just to give that assurance that, we're not taking away or taking anything or from the customer experience, so to speak, because that's very important to Lowe's. This area is really meant for the Lowe's Pros customers. However, they still value, obviously, the regular, resident like myself. who goes, and they're not taking away a prime area. It's really an underutilized area of the property, for the facility.
So anyway, the question I had is because,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm very familiar with the property. I've never had the opportunity to go into that secure area
Yeah.
in the southeast storage area corner of the building. So again, just to reiterate, your idea is to go along the parking lot,
Yes.
heading north-south
Yes.
on the east side of the building along 16th Avenue, and kind of like complement the little cut in
Correct.
heading west in
Yeah.
the rear. So
Now-
go ahead.
I will say what we're not going to interrupt is if you see the rear entrance,
Right.
on the south, we're not going to interrupt that. There's going to be free flowing through there, so the fence won't interrupt that. So customers who happen to come in there, they'll still be able to wrap around the building, but customers really don't access that. That's really like a truck route. This facility, they do have a shared cross access agreement with Target, so there's certain things they have to preserve, right? It's
Right.
not just our truck loading and how we use the property. It's also thinking about, what the neighboring facilities. So all that's going to be open. We're not going to impede anything with fire or anything like that either, from that perspective.
Yeah, because 16th Avenue can get to be very very busy.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, those are the questions I had. Anyone else?
Thank you.
No,
Yes.
Is it being proposed for them to add more vegetation, more oaks?
Yes, along the landscaping to be improved along the West 16th Avenue
But
area.
anything specific? Because right now there's about seven of them, one's kind of dead.
Basically, what we wanted to see is bushes and landscaping, because of that, it will mitigate not only trees. So that will be mitigating the fencing, closer to the sidewalk,
Yeah, because bringing up Home Depot, I wouldn't want it to look
like Home Depot.
like
Yeah.
Home Depot.
That's a good point. I'm gonna have to pass it by Home Depot and see what to not look like.
Well, I don't,
But-
Ricky, are we able to screen share my screen?
And while he's doing that, I mean, to our point, what we've done, actually, we also do landscape architecture as well in-house. So we already have an arborist assessment of those existing trees that were out there. So any pruning that needs to happen, any adjustments that need to happen, we kind of already know, we know what the existing conditions are. And staff has already expressed the desire to create some type of hedge along that, just to help with the screening.
That's what Home Depot looks like.
Wait for it.
You have to share on the.
Go to Zoom and share your screen.
Go to more.
Uh-huh.
Right?
There we go.
Is this the Home Depot on West 49th?
Your screen, that one.
Is this the Home Depot he's talking about?
That's just a bad example.
Oh, okay.
So we wouldn't want to recreate that again.
I got you. Well, I could say just based off of that, that's pretty intense. I'd say the benefit of our existing condition is that there's already a significant buffer. Our buffer, I could tell you, is probably 2-3 times that setback from the street. So it doesn't give you that feeling of a prison or something like that that's right on the
Right.
street. But we want to enhance that. It's not just having that natural buffer and leaving it the way it is. It's also looking for opportunities to kind of, improve on it. And hedging right now seems to be the kind of the solution. However, we still have to go through permitting. So I know, we're saying this is what we're starting with, but if something comes up during that permit process, well, we need to accommodate, the city's request, and, Lowe's is definitely open to going beyond that if necessary. But right now, screening with hedges is what we discussed at this stage.
Claudia, what's the max height that they could do for the fence?
The maximum that they can do, actually, the code has a minimum of 8 feet for this type of storage outside, and they're proposing 12.
And it's supposed to be really the goal is to kind of, again, since there's already an existing condition, the goal is to try to meld with that as much as possible. So that, we're not looking to go sky high or anything. It's just to match what's more or less the same height that's out there.
Because on page C9, I saw that there's an elevation of the tubing of 20 feet.
Oh, I could tell you what you're looking at is a typical detail. So that is a typical detail, and I appreciate you pointing out that that's not the intent. Actually, on the proposal right now, what we're showing, we actually specify 12 feet high along 16th itself. There may be an area there where it's 16 feet, but this is already kind of beyond what the street would say. This is kind of internal, closer to the building. You're not gonna see that maximum height from the street. What you're gonna see from the street, or I guess from the pedestrian level, is 12 feet. But yes, we can make note to make that adjustment, because it's a typical Lowe's detail. But what we can do is modify that. So by the time we get in permitting, it matches what our intent is.
And through the chair, just to clarify the record. right?
Yes.
Also, lighting is very important for that area. Okay, so one of the conditions that we ask is that you improve lighting outside in that storage area. And of course, the landscaping buffer is a condition for the approval.
Did you say lighting or light?
Lighting,
Lighting. Light.
lights.
Yeah, and I
thought you
believe,
meant like a tarp.
No,
Vision.
lights.
Okay.
yeah, it's
illuminate-
site lighting. And I
Yeah.
think, there was a situation, I would say, recently where there was a timing issue with the lights where it wasn't coming on because the time changed. And then also staff did make us aware, so that it could be improved. And so Lowe's has already been proactive about it. They already have a kind of a separate side project where they're actually going to be applying to upgrade the fixture heads in that area. So you're going to get, automatically through that project LEDs. But if it's something that we need to make sure that we address, if you're saying it's part of the condition of this permit, we'll make sure that we can kind of roll that into this project. Just get it situated right now rather than later.
Yeah, can you, Claudia, can you kind of like jot down all the conditions that way we can kind of like go over with the applicant and make sure that we're both on the same page. While you do that, I believe, Mr. Castellano had a question.
I did, but he answered it. It was if they're gonna block that rear entrance, because then it would reroute all the truckings coming in.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
rear entrance
Yeah,
does
yeah.
share with Target, so you can't block it.
That whole parking lot there is extremely dark on a regular basis, especially
that
that
side of the
backside. So
building?
lighting is gonna improve it big time.
Understood.
Thank you.
So just to reiterate the conditions, so the applicant is to proffer a declaration of restrictions, so a legal document where we're gonna list all this condition. It's to restrict the use of the outdoor storage area.
Okay.
Which shall be limited to materials and equipment associated with the operation of Lowe's Home Improvement Store and shall not be used for any other unrelated outdoor storage. The project should be developed according to the plan submitted with this application, prepared by CPH engineers, submitted on January 26. The outdoor storage area shall have the proper lighting and landscaping buffer along West 16th Avenue, and all the permits and approvals from applicable city departments and outside agencies shall be obtained prior to the issuance of a building permit.
Yes, sir.
Include the maximum height on the fence there?
And the maximum height of being 12 feet.
Well, there is a section where, again, not from the street side, where it will be 16 feet. It's kind of on the interior, closer to the building, closer to where the operations are. I would say it's on the southeast corner of the building, but that's a very, very, very small section. So if it's possible, if our intent is not to make it 6 feet, closest to the street, but if we can adjust the approval condition that it could be a maximum of 16 feet, understanding that the plan is to, have
So-
it 12 feet on the street side.
So for clarifications, so the maximum of 12 feet towards the north, east, and south elevations,
That's fair.
maximum of 12 feet along north, east, and south.
Yeah.
And 18 feet. It says 18 or
It's actually 16 feet high by 18 feet wide.
gotcha.
That's what our intent is.
16 feet
High.
along
Yeah.
west elevation.
That's fair.
Okay. Anyone else? No more comments or questions? No one else in the audience, so what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve with conditions?
Second that motion
Okay, so I have.
with conditions?
I have a motion to approve with conditions from Mrs. Enriquez and Mr. Ulloa. Mr. Mason, I'm so sorry. And a second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Castellanos,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Yes.
Mr. Luch.
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa.
Yes.
Motion has been approved with conditions.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.
Miscellaneous items not requiring advertising. Old business.
I have a question through the chair.
Yes, sir.
A while back ago, we discussed having emails through the city instead of having our own personal emails for these, the things, the package that we made said, I don't mind it in my personal email, but I think it's the security thing. I don't know, maybe for the city.
Through the chair,
Yes.
since we have the opportunity to have our IT director, he's saying that it's okay to provide you with city email.
We can, regardless as far as CIO for the city, 501 Palm Avenue. We can definitely get that set up. We've had that discussion in the past.
Yeah.
If Claudia's on board, we can definitely get that done.
The only question that I have is, will those city emails be applicable to my personal phone? Because if they are, then my phone becomes public record.
So the way we will provide you access to them, we will still be in control of the public record side of it, and we will be the ones providing it. We archive all emails that come in and out to the city.
Okay, so do we, are we on the right page, on
We
the
are.
same page here? Because I'm just trying to avoid
That your phone be taken.
Joe
and
Blow
confiscated.
down the street 3 months from now has an issue with the city or with anything, and they say, you know, I want to subpoena your records from your phone, and then my personal phone becomes public
So,
record.
so the reason and it's the reason to give you a city email is because I am in control of your city email. All public records would run through my office in order to provide them to you.
Okay. All right.
Hence, it's a plus. Now, the way it's structured right now, technically,
They could-
if there's a public record, they would ask you for the records.
They're asking for what?
They would ask you for the records, not me. The way it's structured right now, where you get everything to your personal.
So the way public records work is if it's public business or not, irrespective of whether it's going to your personal email or whether it's going to the city email. So if something goes to your personal email and it is city business, then it is a public record. If it is not a public record and it's not subject to disclosure. This would make it just easier to be able to segregate what is public and what is not public.
Okay, because right now, as it stands, we get an email usually on Friday or something with the packet. You know, back in the day, we used to get an envelope and all of that. It was all beautiful. And on the email, you're right here. What you just brought up here. So it's basically the diocese for tonight.
Right.
She emails that to us on our personal email. Is that also going to become public record?
So the email itself that you receive is a public record.
The
It is.
email.
Correct.
Okay.
And I have the attachments and anything within that email.
So now, question number 2. Are we supposed to retain those emails? Because once I open, I kill them. Delete them.
We have all those emails. So we.
Or you
provide them
have the sending.
In any
Okay.
public record request, we will be the ones providing them.
Okay. Okay. Same thing with
Same thing with them. That is correct.
ball is on your court, man.
Yeah, I think it's best doing it that way.
I just wanted to make sure because
Listen, I'm not an attorney, so consult an attorney if you need to, but
well, you know,
I'm giving you my 2 cents on how we handle it from the city side of
Right.
it, right? I handle that for all employees that get a city phone. I handle it for all city email, period.
okay.
So,
I mean, and the reason I'm asking is because, you know, it's bad enough though, you know,
mhm.
our financial disclosure and all of that is public record and never had a problem, but
But again, any communication regarding city business is a public record
Right.
at any point in time.
But basically, it will be up to you to provide those records, not
From an email
gonna-
perspective, yes.
And I think going forward, if you have a city email and if you're able to do that, it will be easier
It is.
for the city to control, and be able to respond to public record.
Okay, so come next month or whatever, whenever you get it approved by the powers that be and we come to see you and get it installed, we can install it on our phone and we can just
Correct.
do our thing.
More than likely, I'll meet you guys here. I'll have somebody here. That way they can just set you guys up if you choose to do it that way. Or if you want to access it online, you can do that as well.
Sounds good. One day.
It's all right.
It'll be easier.
Hey, you got to earn your pay.
No comment.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm sorry. I had to throw it in. Oh, well. Anyway, thank you.
No problem.
Anybody has any question for it? Okay. So that's all business?
Okay, new business.
Well, new business, I'd like to welcome a new board member. Just,
Thank you.
I hope you have fun tonight.
It
So,
wasn't full, so I wasn't worried.
huh?
It wasn't full, so I wasn't worried.
You got it easy today.
Oh, you're gonna write a few good ones. Don't mark my words.
Through the chair,
Yes.
just wanted to say thank you for Mr. Mason. Tonight is his last meeting, so.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So.
Surprise. Surprise. No, that's what we're talking
But
about
thank
that in
you.
the parking lot, yeah.
So thank you.
Okay, well,
Okay, no.
well, you will be definitely missed.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
You will be missed.
We'll be missed, brother.
All right, anything else? And it's adjourned. All righty, let me close this.